Weight loss after 60 is genuinely harder than it was at 30 or 40. That is not a perception bias or a lack of willpower. It is biology. Understanding exactly what changes and why makes it possible to work with those changes rather than against them, and to identify which strategies actually produce results for the specific metabolic landscape of this life stage. The good news is that one of the most effective and accessible tools for weight management over 60 requires no gym membership, no equipment, and no high-impact stress on aging joints. It is walking. But the specific targets, the strategies for making it work, and the reason it needs to be paired with one other intervention to produce lasting results require more detail than most walking advice provides. Start with why weight management becomes harder after 60, because understanding the mechanism makes the solution make sense. Muscle mass begins declining in the fourth decade of life, but the rate of loss accelerates sharply after age 60. This is not inevitable deterioration. It is a biological process called sarcopenia that is driven by reduced hormonal signaling for muscle protein synthesis, decreased physical activity in most people's lives as careers, family demands, and mobility change, and lower protein intake in older adults who are eating less overall. Scientific research identifies muscle loss as a fundamental contributor to disability in people over 60. Muscle is the body's primary metabolically active tissue. More muscle means more calories burned at rest, better glucose regulation, stronger bones through mechanical loading, and greater functional capacity for daily movement. As muscle declines, the daily calorie burn at rest, known as resting metabolic rate, decreases. The same amount of food that maintained weight at 50 produces a calorie surplus at 65. Body fat accumulates not because of gluttony, but because the metabolic machinery that once cleared excess calories has been reduced. This is why certified trainers who specialize in fitness for people over 60 are consistent on one foundational point. Protecting and rebuilding muscle is the most important thing you can do for weight management in this life stage. Strength training at least twice per week, combined with adequate protein intake and a modest calorie deficit, creates the conditions for sustainable fat loss. Walking alone produces cardiovascular benefits and calorie expenditure, but without the muscle-building stimulus of resistance training, the metabolic decline that makes weight loss difficult continues unaddressed. That said, walking is where most people should start, and here is why it works specifically for this population. Walking is low impact, meaning it puts minimal stress on joint cartilage, which is a genuine concern for people over 60 who are managing arthritis, joint pain, or previous injury. It requires no equipment, no gym, no learning curve, and no recovery time. It is scalable from a 10-minute walk around the block to an hour-long brisk session, and it produces meaningful metabolic benefits even at modest durations. A short walk after each meal improves blood sugar regulation by facilitating glucose uptake in working muscles. Even 10 to 15 minutes of walking improves circulation, supports blood sugar control, and begins rebuilding basic cardiovascular endurance. For someone who is currently sedentary, starting with 3 10-minute walks after each meal is more sustainable and produces better initial results than immediately attempting a 45-minute session that leaves them sore and unmotivated to continue. Consistency over weeks and months produces compounding benefit. Any amount of walking is more effective than no walking, and the benefits scale upward with duration and frequency. The specific targets for walking for weight loss over 60, according to certified trainers, are as follows. For general health and cardiovascular support, the American Heart Association recommendation of 150 minutes per week, broken down as roughly 30 minutes 5 days per week, is the established baseline. For weight loss specifically, the target is higher. An ASM master trainer recommends walking for at least 300 minutes per week for people whose goal includes weight loss. That works out to approximately 1 hour 5 days a week, or 45 minutes every day. This higher target reflects the reality that weight loss requires a calorie deficit, and 300 minutes of walking per week creates a meaningful enough energy expenditure to contribute to that deficit alongside dietary adjustments. The step count equivalent is 6,000 to 8,000 steps per day, which typically takes between 60 and 80 minutes when combined with normal daily movement like household tasks, grocery shopping, and general activity. This is not 6,000 to 8,000 dedicated steps. It is total daily step count, including incidental movement. For many people, daily non-exercise movement is significantly lower than they assume, which is why tracking steps with a phone or wearable device often reveals that the gap between where they are and the target is smaller or larger than expected. Intensity matters alongside duration. A brisk walk that elevates the heart rate and produces mild breathlessness burns significantly more calories per minute and produces stronger cardiovascular adaptation than a leisurely stroll. If comfortable speech is easy and breathing is not noticeably elevated, the pace can increase. The target intensity for aerobic benefit is a pace that requires a little effort to maintain, but is not so demanding that conversation becomes difficult. Interval walking, alternating between brisk and moderate paces within the same session, further increases calorie burn and cardiovascular benefit without requiring a continuously challenging pace throughout. 3 minutes at a brisk pace, followed by 2 minutes at a comfortable pace, repeated across a 30-minute walk, is one practical interval structure that most people over 60 can implement and sustain. The practical pairing that makes walking for weight loss most effective is combining it with higher protein intake. Protein supports muscle maintenance during a calorie deficit and has a higher thermic effect than fat or carbohydrate, meaning the body burns more calories processing it. Getting 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal, from sources like eggs, Greek yogurt, lean poultry, fish, beans, or cottage cheese, supports the muscle protective goals that make weight loss sustainable in the long term. The bottom line: 300 minutes of walking per week, building towards 6,000 to 8,000 total daily steps, produces meaningful weight loss results for most people over 60 when combined with adequate protein and strength training at least twice weekly. Start with where you are, not where you want to be. Even 1,000 additional steps per day produces a measurable difference over time. Consistency and gradual progression are what compound into real results. New videos every day covering the health and fitness information that actually works at every life stage. Subscribe and stay with us. One thing worth adding about the mental and motivational dimension of walking for people over 60. Life circumstances in this decade, including retirement, health changes, loss of loved ones, reduced social structure from work, and shifts in physical capacity, make sustained motivation for exercise harder to maintain than it was when external structure provided it automatically. Walking has a significant advantage here because it is social in a way that gym workouts are not. Walking with a partner, a friend, a spouse, or a dog introduces accountability and social connection that dramatically improve adherence over time. The social dimension of walking is not incidental. For many people over 60, it is the most important factor in whether the habit sustains. Walking outside rather than on a treadmill has additional documented benefits, including improved mood from nature exposure and sunlight, better balance training from uneven terrain, and greater vitamin D synthesis during daylight hours. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely common in older adults and is associated with bone density loss, immune dysfunction, and mood disorders. Combining vitamin D exposure with the exercise benefit of outdoor walking is an efficient use of the same time. The habit of walking consistently is ultimately one of the highest leverage investments available for quality of life in the decade of 60 and beyond. Cardiovascular function, metabolic health, bone density through mechanical loading, cognitive function through increased cerebral blood flow, balance and coordination, mood regulation, and weight management all improve with regular walking. No other single intervention produces benefits across this many systems at this life stage with this little downside risk.